incredibly late, though. I just kind of missed it.
Oh, really?
It was within a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's late. We brought the gift to the place.
Yeah, but podium's right after the games. It's not like a month later.
Yeah, you can't be.
You didn't qualify.
At that moment, the podium we were on.
I think Don and I are on the top spot.
By the way, speaking of podiums and gifts and those issues, I have to say this. I just am getting to Christmas cards, which have been kind of piled up in my mailbox because I was away in Brazil. And I got to the Rothenberg Christmas card,
which was nice.
By the way, I'll tell you one thing about the Rothenberg family. Beautiful family, first of all. Shocking coming from Dave. But number one, they love a card, don't they? They love a card. They're very committed to the Christmas card, the family thing. You think Dave is just this lovable man, the way they just love the dogs.
They're thinking about the Robert Young.
Yeah, the dogs.
Or Cliff Huxtable in the day.
Right, and formerly Cliff Huxtable. But I have to say something important. Sherry looked amazing. The kids are getting quite handsome. Handsome boys.
Yeah.
And Dave looked trim. Clearly they used a picture from like the bar mitzvah time. Looked handsome, looked good. His suit fit well.
Take that picture today.
No, that's not what I was going to say. Dave, you had to wear the sneakers with the suit in your card. What are you, Dan Orlovsky on an episode of
Billy Joel?
Get Up? What are you doing?
One thing I'm going to defend Billy Joel to you.
He did a long
he just
time
struck
ago.
a nerve. No, he did. Billy Joel never wore sneakers with a suit. Billy Joel wore which I will do sometimes too, a sport coat, shirt and a tie, jeans, and a sneaker. If I ran ESPN, like if they gave me the top spot,
sure,
I would say to every one of them, we love Dan Orlovsky. He's going to be on today. If you ever wear sneakers with a suit again, you're off the air.
Right.
It shouldn't be done. The people on the CBS show.
Oh, it's disgusting.
CBS pregame show. What you don't wear sneakers with a suit.
But I wasn't knocking Billy, because I'm just saying that when you're an artist, you could do. When you're a musician, you do whatever you want. I'm just saying Dave Rothenberg is not in the position where he's Billy Joel. He can do whatever he wants.
And he looked so good otherwise. He was thin. The suit looked nice. It fit nice. And by the way, Dave is so confident at the time he took this picture, Don, he included a full body shot in his card. You don't see that all the time. Full body shot. But then he included the sneakers with the suit. It made me sick to my stomach. So I threw up on the card.
Speaking of cards, Jody and I have made a unilateral decision over last year. We're not sending them out anymore.
No.
What we did this year was digital. We sent them out to people's email.
Did I get one?
Yeah, I think I sent it to you.
By the way,
I got text a picture.
Yeah,
from you. That was it.
The text. Yeah.
Did you get my card?
No, I did not get a card.
I didn't get a card from you.
You got cards. They were mailed.
I didn't get them.
Everybody else got them.
Never got them.
I don't think it was shown to you.
No. Jody kept the card from me. Think about that.
Well, I did mention, Don did mention my thank you note yesterday, and you said you didn't see that either.
No, I did get that. I chosen to forget it. So can I tell you a quick holiday gift?
Please.
So Jody and I agreed before. Let's not get each other gifts. Okay. It's just ridiculous, right? She followed through on it. I didn't. So I got Zip. But I said I cannot get her a gift.
Well, what a hack you are. You did that?
Yeah.
Why?
I just felt guilty because I said, she's going to get me something. She didn't. She didn't get me anything. Hurtful.
Good for her.
And so I decided to get her, and we don't ever spend like this.
Oh, boy.
I went to a Gucci store in the Westchester Mall to buy her a bag.
Okay, Gucci bag. Why didn't you consult with me? I got people.
I don't need bargains on a Christmas gift.
Oh, okay.
So I go in.
You hear that? By the way, Don, there was a lot in that statement.
A lot.
Mr. Humble America.
I go in there.
Okay.
And I pick out the bag. Not a big bag, because even a small bag's a lot of money in Gucci.
Well, that's why I was... Okay.
So the lady is moving like molasses. She goes in a back room where she's got my credit card. She's wrapping it in an extravagant way.
That's what they do at Gucci.
And 3 guys come in with hoodies on and masks.
Wait, what?
Into the store.
You're joking?
No. And they're asking prices of things, and I'm going, this is not going well. And I wanted to get out of there, but I didn't want to leave my credit card. I was going to leave without the bag.
Okay.
The guy says, how much is this hat? And a Gucci hat is like $900.
Well, it depends what hat it was.
Well, was it leather Gucci hat?
Oh, a leather hat.
And he peels off like $9 $100 bills, and he's paying that way. And I'm going, this is not going well.
Well, hold on, but they're paying. But the concern is gone now.
But they were lingering, and it was almost like they didn't want to do something because the big, fat, tall guy is there too.
Okay.
And I couldn't get out of there fast. And I kept looking on social media if anything happened. Why would you go into a store with hoods and masks on? And they weren't COVID masks. They were masks.
What do you mean masks?
Like they had the turtleneck pulled up over their nose.
That is strange.
I said, I'm doing a nice thing, get my wife a gift, and this is how I'm going to go. At the Westchester Mall in the Gucci shop.
And meanwhile, all they did was go in and buy a leather hat.
No, they didn't leave. I left. She gave me the thing. I ran out. I took the card. I didn't take the receipt, and I bolted.
Oh, you really, Don? He really strikes you. He really gives you like the John McClane, Die Hard.
No, I would have been on an elevator down to the first floor at Nakatomi Plaza. Out
the door. Not
right.
even
out the door.
Did Jody like the bag?
Loved it. She couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I got nothing.
Couldn't believe it.
But
what does that really say about you, though, doesn't it?
But words are weapons. They're tools. you spoke about not exchanging gifts.
And how did you know what bag she wanted? You took a guess?
I know her taste.
Wow. Interesting.
I know. Can you get a bad Gucci bag?
I don't know. I'm not a bag guy.
How much could you got me off of it?
Nothing, and never speak of it ever again. I would have told you this though, for the record.
Yeah.
If you were going to go to where'd you go? Westchester Town Center?
Westchester Mall. Not the Westchester County Center, Westchester Mall.
Westchester. If you were going to
the Westchester.
If you were going to go to Westchester Mall,
right?
You might as well have gone up to the outlet in Westchester where they have a lot of Gucci bags in there.
I didn't want to do outlet.
Don, you hearing me? Listen, if you go to the Gucci outlet, you're not going to find a lot of great clothes. I mean, you can stumble into them. But the bags, they have a lot of bags.
And what's funny is he doesn't want to do the outlet because he was afraid what happened at the high-end place would happen. But it happened there anyway.
What happened was a guy bought a hat.
No. But they
did you ever hear about anything happening?
Nothing.
No. But then I did notice that when I bolted out of the shop, there were armed policemen like in the next store. So they would have been, maybe they were waiting for those guys to do their rounds.
This sounds like a terrible operation. I've never heard of an operation like this.
What do you mean operate? Well, you mean to steal?
Well, yeah, that you come in and ask for prices? That's not how this works.
Well, maybe they were stalling.
Listen, I don't have a lot of experience in this regard.
They paid for one of them.
They did pay for the hat.
This is a weird plan.
Again, hoodies and masks. Why?
Well, because maybe
indoors.
Is it possible that they had a cold and well, wait a minute. We're removed from mask time. Like I used to always have one in my pocket.
How cold was
it? It was an indoor mall. It was delightful. Oh. It was 70 degrees.
No, but I used to breeze. You always have like a mask on you, but now we're beyond that now. But all of a sudden, let's say you start sneezing, you're like, I don't want to freak people out. I've got a turtleneck on. I'm just going to put it over my face.
No, it doesn't. It does play weird when you say it that way.
The whole thing is weird.
And the hoodie?
Well, what do you mean by hoodie?
Well, they had their hoods pulled up over the head.
But I could walk around with this hood up.
I would question your motives if you had the hood up and a mask.
The mask is the part that makes it seem odd.
We've got Tom Crean coming up, and you might say, why Tom Crean?
Well, I do.
Former coach of Indiana, and he coached OG Anunoby. Oh. And I want to know how he's going to fit in.
So far, so good.
And also, Tom Crean is married to the Harbaugh sister.
Oh, so we can ask about Sozier's in-laws that we heard from yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's all coming up in just a moment. But first, Peter wants to talk to us about FanDuel.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
I needed something in the shop, comfortable. I wear Brunt boots, as you see, got them on my feet right now. Keeps you warm, it keeps you dry, triple layered comfort.
Comfortable in the morning, comfortable in the afternoon. These feel kind of like sneakers.
They're waterproof, durable, been wearing them for over a year now. They're absolutely amazing.
This is the only shoe I wear in here now. Brown boots are cool.
Wearing Brunt boots, my feet, my back, and my legs don't hurt at the end of the day.
Go online and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days, risk-free.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're gonna feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
Challenge you, let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind, training your body, training your spirit to be as great as you can. Total, be your strongest.
Hungry Root is here, and I needed it because my fridge is super empty.
I'm gonna open the box. That's the exciting part.
Hungry Root came through.
And my refrigerator is packed.
The promise of America is freedom, equality. But right now, those pillars of our democracy are fragile. Reproductive rights, voting rights, the right to make your own choices and have your voice heard. We must act now to restore and protect these freedoms for us and for the future. We are the American Civil Liberties Union, and we are fighting in every state, every day to defend your rights and the rights of all people.
We have got to be here. We've got to be strong to protect those rights.
For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought for everyone to have a voice and equal justice, and we will never stop. Because we, the people, means all of us. To learn more about defending our democracy, go to myaclu.org today.
All right, so the debut of OG Anunoby went very well. Next play tonight against the Bulls, so we'll see him for the second time. But we thought it'd be a good idea to talk to Tom Crean, who coached OG in college, and now he's a member of our ESPN family as well, college basketball analyst. And Tom joins us now on the show. Tom, it's Michael, Don, and Peter. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to talking to you guys.
All right, so let's talk about OG. You know the Knick roster. You know the players that he's going to be playing with on the floor for the most part. How do you think he fits into the scheme that Thibodeau runs, and how do you think he fits into the New York scene?
Well, I think, first off, he's perfect for Tom Thibodeau because this is probably the closest he will have had to a Jimmy Butler type of player since he had Jimmy Butler because, you know, they're a little different. I mean, he's in his 7th season. He's 26 years of age. But he's a guard. He's got grit. He's got some griminess to his game. He's way tougher than people realize. You know, I think sometimes people mistake that kindness for weakness, and that's not even remotely close. I mean, he's got some nastiness to him, and I think that fits. I think he's he's not only really, really good enough to guard 1 through 5 on the floor, but I think he relishes that. And I think he's going to fit that very well. And I think guys like Julius Randle and Brunson and everybody else are going to really enjoy playing with him because he doesn't have to have the ball to impact the game because of the way that he does so many different things. But when he does get the ball, they're going to get it back, or he's going to knock down an open shot, or he's going to get an offensive rebound and kick it out. They can trust him on the break. And then I think as he gets more comfortable after the next few weeks or so, I mean, you're going to see more decision-making come out of OG. You're going to see him making plays for other people. You're going to see more things in the lane. Again, he's only 26 years of age, and I truly think he's not even close to being as good as he's going to be. And as far as it fitting into New York, I think New York people are going to love him because what you see is what you get. There's no air, there's no act, there's no it's not about him, right? Like, he wants to be great. He's got an unbelievable drive. You know, he may not be as fun because he's not going to have as many, good quotes or one-liners and things like that, but he is who he is, and I think people will really take to that. And I think he's so excited about being in New York. I think people are going to feel that too.
Yeah, because they're very supportive. Knicks fans are very supportive, Tom. But sometimes what happens is wanting to win that elusive championship that they haven't had in 50 years, it just seems like sometimes the pressure can be crushing to a lot of players when it's like destination championship. Anything short of that is a disappointment, especially for new players to come to New York. So how about the expectations of what he can supply to this Knicks franchise?
Well, I think the fact that he's wanted that type of environment. I think the fact that he did so many things as a rookie, like he got hurt with us. My last year with him was his sophomore year. He got hurt at Penn State, tore his knee. He missed his last 18 games of his sophomore year with us. And basically, when Toronto drafted him, in my mind, I thought they were drafting him as a redshirt because there was no guarantee he was going to play that year. But he had a great surgery, he had a great rehab, and he ended up being a starter on the number 1 seed in the East. So he goes from the first round of the playoffs as a 20-year-old, basically guarding John Wall and Bradley Beal in the first round, and then having to guard LeBron in the second round. So I think he's always been in high-pressure basketball situations and been comfortable with that, with maybe, obviously not in a situation where there's many eyes on him every day as there are in New York. But I think the way he plays, he never really gets outside of himself, if that makes any sense. He's not trying to do things just to show that he can do them. I mean, and I do think the way he works, there's so much in his game that can still come out that I think people are going to see that too. But I think he's going to fit in well with that because he's a very confident guy, but he's very relational. He looks forward to, having bonds with his teammates and his coaches and things like that. He's a very, very loyal, caring guy. And I think he's going to fit in as time goes on. He'll go through his growing pains with it, but I think as he gets comfortable, he'll be fine with all of that.
What do you say to the Knicks fan who goes, I'm sure he's a nice player and this is a nice move, but this isn't a piece that's going to change this team very much? What's your response to that?
I would say the day they traded for him, it changed the East immediately. That's what I would say, because he's not afraid to guard all those guys. And he has guarded those guys. The people that the New York Knicks have got to go through, to be successful, he's very, very confident guarding those people. And I think with the way Tom coaches and Tom schemes, OG's going to make very few mistakes. And not only is he going to not make many mistakes, he's going to be a good help cover defender for the other guys, right? Like, he's going to help them. And I think you're going to see the guys that they have maybe that don't even get as much attention defensively, like Josh Hart. He's going to flourish with guys like that. And I think he's way, way tougher than people think. And you're not punking him. Nobody's coming in and talking to him and backing him down. And I think New York fans are going to see that. And I think he's way more than just a good fit. I think he helps that team, and I think he makes everybody else better as the season goes on.
Tom Crean is our guest, former college coach, now with us at ESPN. So I looked this up, Tom. Anunoby, when he arrived at Indiana, was a 294th ranked high school senior, not heavily recruited other than Indiana and a few others. So is his excellence now directly attributable to you and your great coaching?
I had my hand in it, but I'm not. I can't do anything. We had our days, trust me. I mean, we had our days that he didn't want to hear it. But I think, I'll tell you this, when we signed him, I thought he would be a 3-year and out guy. I thought it would take 3 years. I didn't think it would take 4. I didn't totally see the 2. But he just, once you figured out how bad he wanted it, right? And I had a feeling of it in recruiting. He was just completely under-recruited. I mean, the first time we went to see him, we saw him in Atlanta at an Under Armour event. We went to see another player. We go to the game, and here's this guy with a headband, the floppy hair. He's guarding the ball on the baseline. He's guarding the ball full court. He's full court pressing. His name wasn't even in the program. It wasn't even in the book we spent $750 for.
Wow.
And, oh, no, it's crazy. Like, I had no idea who he was when we walked into that gym. But doing the research, getting his name, studying some film, I got intrigued by watching him live, but kind of fell in love with his game by watching his film, and that's when we offered him. And I just think, there was a belief system that he could do it, but he couldn't do it even for us as fast as he thought he could do it, right? Like, he had to get stronger, even though he's got a great body. He had to get more flexible. He had to really, really become the defensive player that he could become. And then all of a sudden you started to see this incredible balance that he had. And he had great feet and great hands. We knew that when we signed him. Well, then all of a sudden you see this vision that he has and this quick twitch that he has. And all of a sudden all these athletic attributes that he had, they come alive as he got more flexible and as he got more fundamentally skilled. And so if he hadn't gotten hurt, he would have been an easy lottery pick that sophomore year. It was really a steal at 23 for Toronto. And I know there's some teams that were in the teams that I thought were going to take him, and they didn't really understand his personality. And it was almost like, no, he's not aloof. No, he's not abrasive. No, he's quiet. He's very, very thoughtful. He overanalyzes. He overthinks, but he's the real deal. And I think that's what he's kind of grown into. And I think it's going to take off for him in New York, even more so than it has.
So what's the ceiling for the Knicks?
The ceiling? Oh, I think they're. If this goes the way it could go, I mean, there's no question they're in contention for this year. I would think. I mean, I think the East, as good as the East is, the Knicks have got so many pieces, and I think another area that is they figured out, without Mitchell Robinson and the rebounding that he did, that's one of OG's great strengths. I mean, he can really, really rebound the ball. He's got a great knack for the ball. I don't know if there is a ceiling for them. I don't think it's far-fetched at all to be talking about them in the same breath as Milwaukee and Boston and Philly and whoever else there is, because they've got so many guys that can make plays. And you see it all the time, not only with Julius Randle scoring, but I think Julius Randle's passing, he's going to love throwing the ball to OG because something good's going to happen with it when he throws it to him. And I don't think they have a true ceiling. I think they can compete with them all right now.
All right, so in 27 games with Toronto and then the one with the Knicks, he's averaging 15.2. So he's clearly the third option with the Knicks. How much is there offensively if they let him go?
Oh, I think he can get, because he's basically getting those points without anything really being run for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be, I think there'll be nights he'll be in the high 20s, low 30s, but I think there'll be nights they'll win that he'll get 12, 10, and 7 assists. And I think he can really float a lot of different ways with that team. But it's what I think is going to really go up is the plus-minus when he's on that floor, because he can impact so many things defensively. And the other thing he can do is because he's so smart and he's got really good vision, he's got really good depth perception, he's got the quick twitch, he gets a lot of credit for what he does on the ball, and rightfully so, but I think he's got a lot of talent off the ball, and I think that's going to help the Knicks. And so I don't know as much about the scoring. I mean, I know that I think as he gets comfortable, you'll see more of that come out. I mean, he's way better shooting it from the slot, or the above the break three, they call it in the NBA. He's way better at shooting that shot. than people realize. Obviously, the corner shooting has been very good, but he's one of those guys. There's an old saying, the ball finds energy.
Right.
That's kind of what OG is about. That's kind of how he is. I heard that phrase a time ago. We used it all the time with him in college, and I think that's exactly what he's like now.
Tom, before we let you go,
on those instinctive cuts.
I want to know if you've ever heard this. There's a great football writer in our city at Newsday by the name of Bob Glauber. I mean, it's not like you see Bob Glauber go, he kind of looks like Tom Green. He is you,
yeah,
Tom.
You.
Have you ever been near him in the same room? Do you agree with this? Have you ever seen a picture of him?
Well, I saw a couple polls where people said Bob was far better looking than I was. So, I turned those things.
Yeah,
down
I think
right away.
that's a bit aggressive.
Bob and I actually, we've done some interviews together in New York. I think I was in Indiana when we did it, but no, we've talked to each other. I don't know him great. I loved his book that he did on Gibbs and Parcells.
Yeah.
And was it Walsh?
With the NFC coaches. Yeah,
that was tremendous. And I loved your book too, the interviews. I got a lot
thank
out
you.
of that.
Wow, thank you very much.
Yeah, I did. I got a lot out of that. But no, I like Bob. I think he's a great writer, and we've had a couple of those moments where we were right next to each other. We actually did an interview one time in the Garden, actually. So that was kind of cool. Where we did a face-to-face interview.
So will you be in Houston next week with your wife's brother?
I will.
Pretty exciting for the family, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Plus the Ravens are rolling, and I'll be in ESPN next week, so I've got to figure out how I'm going to get out of Houston a little bit quicker than I anticipated because I'm in the studio next week, but I'll be there. I can't miss that.
Yeah, I saw Jim's dad getting interviewed after the game. I didn't see a resemblance. Did you?
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. It's like Jim aged like 25 years.
Coach Harbaugh will be the mayor of Houston by sometime Monday morning. By the time they get in there, he will. People will find him. He's never met a stranger. Joni's dad and mom. Neither one of them ever met a stranger. So it's fun for them. Those are awesome. My oldest daughter, who lives in New York City, was there with them through all of that this past week, and so that was cool to see all that. And Jim and John are they're unbelievable at what they do. I mean, and I think people are seeing it when they see the way their players respond to them. So I hope they both finish their last games this year with championships.
How thick are Jim's glasses in real life?
It looks like he really has eye problem, right? He must have bad eyesight.
Well, those are new. The ones that he has new, the other ones that got so dark, they were like Bo Schembechler reincarnate.
Right.
And Joni's dad wears the same type of glasses. They get so dark, as soon as they get a little light into them. I don't think Jim's eyes are that bad. I think they've gotten like everybody else. I think they've aged a little bit. I don't think those things are as strong as you might think they are. I think he likes the frames, and I think his wife Sarah picked those frames out, his wife.
Good stuff, Tom. Thank you for giving us some insight on OG, and also good luck on Monday. That should be fun for the whole family, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks for having me.
All right, good stuff from Tom Crean. He really likes Anunoby, huh?
Hell of a phone line, too.
Yeah.
I respect a man with a good phone line.
You've always said that.
Yeah,
You've always said that. Hey, to score a touchdown, everything needs to line up perfectly.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're gonna feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
Why do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
Moment comes, you'll be ready.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on the screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see the moves. You got the whole world looking like this. The kind of magic taking hold of you. Highlight after highlight after highlight. Want to see the kind of magic taking hold of you.
If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
Entertainment welcomes Tool to Madison Square Garden for 2 nights, Friday, January 12th and Saturday, January 13th. ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets at ESPNNewYork.com or on the ESPN New York app. Scroll down to contest, submit your entry. Brought to you by Metropolitan Entertainment. Tool tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. We talked to Dan Orlovsky in the 5 o'clock hour.
Love Dan.
Now
don't love his shoes always, but did you see him sniffing shoes the other day?
Molly's shoes. Molly Karam's shoes. Yeah.
Well, does that make it better?
No, he's just being specific.
No, I just wanted to further the story.
I think you were trying to defend Orlovsky because it was her shoe.
Are you kidding? Is that what?
That's the way I
for a
took it.
second,
You know
did
what?
you take it that way?
I got to tell you, I'm in lockstep with your friend who emails the show.
Right.
And, I mean,
He's out to get me.
Who tells you that Don hates you?
Right.
In this case, you might be right.
Yeah.
I didn't take it that way at all. He was just being specific when I said he sniffed shoes, and he said Molly's shoe.
Right. It's not like he took shoes off of Marcus Spears or off of Laura Rutledge. It was Molly
He's
Karam's
being
shoe.
specific. There's video right there of him sniffing the shoe. Now,
it's a little odd for him to do. Let's put it
Stephen
that way.
bought Molly shoes.
He bought her the shoes?
I believe Stephen. I believe it was Stephen's Christmas gift for Molly.
Shoes.
I believe was shoes.
Interesting.
Really?
I'm glad that we've made an agreement never to exchange.
By the way, Anthony, I'm not getting that wrong, right? Isn't that what the segment was?
First I heard, I only saw the sniffing.
Okay.
That might be a drop.
Does Stephen have anything in common with Rex?
No. Actually, Stephen, and I believe Shannon, was it Shannon on that day, went on to accuse Dan of maybe having something in common with Rex.
I think that's also on the table.
I do love that Rex just owns it now.
He has to.
Owns it.
Yeah. He might as well start a website. He should go full bore with the whole thing.
Quentin Tarantino.
Really?
It's a thing for him, too. You watch the movies.
True.
He puts it in the movies.
It's always in there.
The foot massage in Pulp Fiction.
I'm telling you, it's my wife's feet are wasted on me.
She has nice feet?
Beautiful feet.
Really?
I mean, I give her foot massages, but doesn't do anything for me.
Does it do anything for her?
Oh, Natalie, part of the deal of being with her is to basically be massaging her constantly. I have to literally...
Her whole body?
Every
feet?
Anything. She wants full-time touching at all times. It's like I have to tell you, it's exhausting.
Well, the rubbing of the feet shouldn't do anything for you. Her reaction should.
No, her reaction is one of relaxation. It's not one of
ecstasy.
No, I mean, although there are other massages I give that are closer to ecstasy, but even that, you're making it sexual because you're a filthy deviant. But even when I say it gives her satisfaction, it's not. It's like one of those things that she would be like, oh my God, this is better than sex. But it's not sex. It's just a nice feeling.
Speaking of massages,
sure.
On the cruise, the people
where's this
that
going?
were running the portion with the players offered me and Jody a full body massage.
No, I thought you were opposed to this.
I hate it, but I did it.
You did?
Yeah, different rooms. And
different rooms.
Yeah, it wasn't like we're holding hands.
Was it a couples massage?
No.
Oh,
we both got a massage.
Natalie and I did couples massages in
and the woman is really working.
Really
working, right? And I could not have been less relaxed. I hated it. I hated everything about it. And then she tried to upsell me creams and stuff like that. And I said, stop. You're dealing with somebody who you can't.
So why'd you do it?
Because I want to see, am I missing something? Because a lot of people like massages. So after she's done, she goes, how was it? I said, not great. And she goes, what? I said, it didn't do anything for me. I mean, it was. You're good at what you do, but
she doesn't hit any spots that make you feel.
There are no spots. There's no spot on my body that makes me feel happy.
Really? This is again what you've had some weird takes today. This isn't the weirdest one.
No,
not even close. No. If you people only knew,
really,
this isn't anything, nothing. But
you can't get up from that take.
I can't believe that it does nothing for you.
Did you like being massaged, son?
Yeah, of course.
You do?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Now, the one I got in Brazil when we did our couples massage, so funny. We see a guy at some point walks by who was like a decidedly handsome Brazilian man.
Better looking than you.
Yeah. And that didn't need to be said right there, did it, Tom?
No, it's just like the Molly comment. I'm just trying to...
Oh, got it. You're specifying.
Yeah.
So I said, and Natalie made what I thought was a joke. She was like, I think he's like the masseuse. And I was like, oh, really? Then we go to get our couples massages, and there's a woman there, and there's this guy. And I kind of give Natalie a joke. I'm like, oh, this guy's... She's like, no, I was serious. He really is the masseuse.
So did he do you?
Well, so I said, just so you know, I would rather have the woman give me the massage, and by all means, enjoy this handsome man. He's wasted rubbing me down. I'm not going to get anything from this.
How'd it work out?
They didn't offer. He just came in and did me. Well, that's not what I wanted.
Was he good?
Honestly, I have to be truthful, and maybe this says something about me having a problem, and maybe it speaks to that caller a few months ago who said, like, massages are cheating.
Right.
I did not enjoy the man massage nearly as much.
Yeah,
the hands were just rough. I like the smooth hands of a woman.
Scarlett Johansson could massage me and I wouldn't like it.
You know what? I don't know if I believe it.
Jennifer Aniston. I just don't like being touched by strangers.
Didn't that put a damper on your single life?
Really?
Well, they weren't strangers when.
But
when
it sounded like
happened.
in some cases they were.
Well, I mean, a couple of hours.
So you're saying, real quick, you meet Aniston,
right?
And she goes, "I just want to give you a massage."
I would take it,
but you wouldn't enjoy it
I
because you'd be a
probably
stranger.
wouldn't, but maybe.
But if you,
but I feel like I know Jen.
But if you talk to her for 2 hours and she said, "Hey, now that we've gotten close, I'd like to give you a massage," now you could enjoy it.
I don't think I can enjoy a massage per se, like to make my muscles relax. That's not what I'm about. I can't be relaxed. I can't be relaxed. My mind is always racing. I can't relax.
Why do you do this?
I don't know.
This life. I mean, what's the point?
What, I should end it?
Listen, Don, I'm not going to hand you the revolver, but I don't know what you're doing. I mean, nothing's. You pass up on some of the most enjoyable things in life.
I didn't pass up. I tried it.
I do. I give you credit for trying. I just wish you could let go.
But your chances of liking it are very slim when you go in not wanting to like it.
I mean, look at the eggs thing. Michael decides, if you guys missed it, over the holiday when Michael's on the cruise, he decides he's finally going to try eggs, and he has an egg white omelet.
But you know why I chose egg white? Because I know you guys were like ripping me about this. Don said I should go to hell because of my lack of eggs.
It wasn't exactly like that.
But my point is, I didn't think I would like the yolky part, right? So I figured I'll do the most benign part of the egg, and then the bacon would flavor it, and I would get through it. It didn't work.
Yeah, but here's just last thing. I know we got a break. This is an important message, though. The yolky part, if you will, you would have only noticed if it was over easy or sunny side up.
Right.
If you had done a regular scramble, it just colors the eggs and gives it more flavor. You're not getting yolk per se, unless it's unless you did like a very soft scramble. If it's a regular scramble or omelet, you need the yolk.
Yeah, I'm good. At least I tried. Stephen A., according to some people, bought the shoes as a bet payoff to Molly from UConn winning the NCAA tournament.
Oh, it was a bet payoff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was, okay.
Hey, when I'm getting ready for a game, I have to be ready.
I won the lottery with Jack Pocket.
Press the button to order lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone and
my phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
Why do water pipes break? Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
babysitter's Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Brunt. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
By U.S. military veterans are accessible to the public. Performing a search of the collection is easy. First, go to loc.gov/vets. Click Explore the Collections. Scroll down to Search the VHP Collections and click. Make sure you're searching this collection, and with simple keywords, you can find what you're looking for. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
We wish that on the Wednesday before the final regular season weekend of the NFL that we had some exciting things to talk about regarding our local teams. We don't. Zach Wilson ruled out. I believe that once he left that game with the concussion, Donnie was not coming back. I'm not questioning whether or not the concussion still exists, but even if it didn't, I didn't think there was any way he was going to play. You heard what Salah said yesterday on the show. If he's healthy, he'll play. It's such an inexact science. If you feel any kind of remnants, you shouldn't play, so I don't blame him for not playing. But I just felt that when he walked off the field, that could probably be it. But now the Jets have this conundrum. What do you do with the guy? He's $11 million on the cap next year. So even if you release him, I don't think there's anybody that's going to trade for him. If you release him, you got to get a backup quarterback. No. So you're going to put like $17 million into the backup quarterback spot behind Aaron Rodgers.
No, he's gone.
17 in a year?
Yeah, because he's worth 11. So whatever you do with him, it's 11.
It's plus.
You cannot. Let's say you got Jacoby Brissett for $7 million.
There is no way you can go into next year with Zach Wilson as the backup quarterback, because then you're duplicating what happened in 2023.
I could go into next year with him as the number 3. I would.
Why would I spend all that money on a third-string quarterback?
But you're spending it anyway. You're spending it. If you release him, you're spending it.
I'm not releasing him. I'm going to trade him. Somebody will give me something. No, because he's a quarterback with talent. I'm sure there's a team they think they can fix him. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to get anything better than maybe a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick.
But you still might have to eat a lot of his money.
I maybe, but I'm not going to have to pay him the full amount of money. There'll be a team out there. Look what they got for Sam Darnold. And then the Panthers give him the 5th-year option, and he's now a backup quarterback in San Francisco. The Panthers didn't even play for the Panthers, really. He ended up hurt, and they didn't do anything with him. Completely screwed that up. There'll be a team. He's got talent. There'll be a coach out there that thinks they can fix him. Now, how much are you going to have to eat? I don't know. But somebody will give you something, and you'll take anything if you're the Jets, rather than have that kind of salary as your third-string quarterback. And I'm sorry, the way this NFL goes, your third-string quarterback one week can end up being your backup quarterback the next week, and then you're stuck in the same situation you were last year with Zach Wilson as your starting quarterback. They used 4 quarterbacks. What do you call Flacco's not going to play this week.
Right.
So Cleveland's going to use 5 quarterbacks. So why would I have him on my roster if I'm not prepared to play him? And I don't want him to play again if I'm the Jets. So, no, somebody will give you something.
He's guaranteed to make a $5.5 million in salary and bonuses. And that's the final year of his 4-year, $35 million contract. And they have to pick up the 5th-year option in May. They won't do that. That's for sure. But I still don't know if he wouldn't be the number 3 guy.
But do you know what I mean? Number
yeah,
3, then something happens to Rodgers, and now he's in the mix. I just don't want to go down that road again.
If you're a Jets fan right now, and next year were to sort of like be similar to this year, like it somehow gets recreated. I've been at some breaking points as a Commanders fan. That would take me to the brink of I don't think I could do this anymore. I mean, this year probably took some people to the brink of like, we finally had something nice and we can't have anything.
You know, the big rumor is the Commanders are going to trade for the number 1 pick with the Bears.
Really? I haven't even seen that.
Yeah.
Which means presumably
Caleb Williams.
That they're in love with.
Well, one of the guys. Penix, Williams, May.
But between how many there appear to be, do you need to make a trade to go up?
If you think that the one guy is special, if you think Caleb Williams is special.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's the person on the Commanders who would be making that assessment?
Well, they're going to have to hire people.
So, but like what I'm saying is right now, if they're considering that trade, who is that? The guy they're about to get rid of?
Yeah, they can't consider it. But the thinking is that they have enough and that they will trade up to get the number 1 pick. Whoever is in charge.
I'm fine with them in the top 3. You never know if it's going to be that number 1 guy. Obviously, they did the biggest haul in history to get RG3. That didn't end up working out.
If you're the Giants, would you do it?
What, trade up? Yeah.
The Giants are in a different spot, though.
Giants are 5 right now.
Yeah, the Giants could need to trade up.
Well,
if there's one of 2 that they want.
You're going to need to trade up if you want the number 1 guy.
If you want, for sure. But but like from all appearances, guys, aren't Williams and Penix awesome?
Awesome May.
And May, potentially? So that's 3?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're the Commanders right now and you stay pat, you'll be pretty good.
And you have to throw into the equation Harrison, so it might not be 3 quarterbacks in a row. So
right.
The third quarterback could drop to 4. And there's a great offensive lineman there from Penn State, could drop to 5.
Although, didn't we say yesterday that when you look at it after the Bears, everybody needs a quarterback up there prior to the Giants?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do.
Cardinals,
how could
their coach said Kyler Murray is our starting quarterback next year. He said we're building around Kyler Murray.
Now, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, he's a new coach. Gannon's the guy.
No, I get it, but
these are all liars.
We'll see what happens. But the Giants have 2 second-round picks. They could trade up, but not if the other 4 teams all want a quarterback. I guess if Chicago is going to go with Justin Fields and not take a quarterback, well, then I guess you could trade up. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I mean, I think the Giants have to take a quarterback. If for no other reason, Daniel Jones may not be ready for the start of next season.
Yeah, but if you take a quarterback, then you're starting a rookie. Now, Anthony Greek, who's a big Giant fan, said Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from LSU, that's the big rumor that the Giants might take him.
Okay.
He'll last to the Giant pick.
Yeah.
But we talked about it when Tommy DeVito was playing. Peter, you were on with me when Michael was away. That if Tommy plays well, now again, he didn't really play great against the Saints and then was benched in the Eagle game. But could you play him a couple of games knowing that Daniel Jones is going to come back? Or can you get a backup quarterback that you feel comfortable starting the first couple of games until Jones comes back rather than starting your draft pick? It would mean keeping 3 quarterbacks, but that's not unheard of.
That's what you can definitely keep 3 quarterbacks if you're the Giants, and one of them's Tommy DeVito.
Right, because he doesn't make it.
Right.
But remember one thing, if you take a quarterback with one of the top 5 picks, you're going to pay him about $40 million for 4 years, and then you've got Daniel Jones for $40 million. That's a lot of money in quarterbacks.
But nothing on DeVito.
But if you're drafting,
DeVito, I think it's like 800.
But if you're drafting a quarterback, you're saying that we're going to be done with Daniel Jones at the end of 2024.
Right.
So yeah, 1 year it's a lot to spend, but you can go out and get a Colt McCoy who actually won games of the NFL for the Giants and sign him. Tommy DeVito, then you could have DeVito as your back to your practice squad just in case, and then you could have the quarterback that you draft. You'll have 4 quarterbacks in camp. Again, not crazy if one of them is on your practice squad. And then when Daniel Jones comes back, you let Tommy go or you let Colt McCoy go, and then you kind of go from there. And then Daniel Jones tutors the young kid, and then the young kid either takes over in a lost season in 2024 or sits and watches, and then...
I hate football.
It's so...
Isn't it depressing? Football's the worst. When you look around this league, and like the entire league is in the playoffs, basically, except 8 teams... And you're among them, and then you're talking about realistically, when next year's a lost season, like it's just so depressing.
I'm not saying it's a lost season. I'm just saying that if it is a lost season,
I know,
but that's why what the Patriots is so amazing, because you can't keep teams together. For them to go to the Super Bowl every single year, it's amazing.
Well, remember, I mean, that was not only was that Belichick, but that was also Brady seeing the forest through the trees, knowing the things he needed to do to keep it together. And they also got outstanding play from players that you didn't necessarily think were going to be that special. It all sort of worked out. But the Giants are in an odd spot because the idea of Daniel Jones tutoring a young quarterback, guys, is also bizarre to me. Even though I hear what you're saying, he is technically a veteran now, right? He knows the game. But it's so weird because in his first year where he has a contract and you're like, oh, let's finally really see what Daniel Jones is, we saw something that was not very good, and then he missed the rest of the year.
Well, it's time now for the Dan Orlovsky Report, brought to you by Sansone Auto Mall. 10 top 10 brands, over 2,000 vehicles, one place, Sansone Auto Mall in Woodbridge, and we bring in our good friend Dan Orlovsky. Dan,
AKA the
Happy
Sniffer.
New Year. How you doing? That was Peter who called you the Sniffer.
He called me a sniffer?
Yeah, because of the shoe incident.
You know, the sniffing.
Listen, I have an abnormally large nose as well, so it kind of fits in multiple ways. The fact that people think it's weird to sniff a shoe, a brand new shoe that the person just got 3 hours before, is a pretty indicative thing of where we are as a human being.
Hold on, but let me ask you a question though, Dan. So even if I don't think it's like a weird, pervy thing to do, like people may have implied, we could ask the question though. But why sniff the shoe?
Well, because again, Molly was like held it up while Stephen A was talking off camera. She's like, these are the shoes that Stephen A just got me for the bet UConn winning the national championship. And I was like, let me see it. She's like, I just got them dropped off in my office this morning. I'm like, oh, sweet. And naturally, like me, I'm always like, when my kids come home from, working out or something, like, you're disgusting. Your feet smell awful. Go shower. And so I was just like, I'll smell it because I was asking, like, what kind of brand it was. Was it real leather or fake leather? All that stuff.
Interesting. All right, so let's get some more mundane topics. All right, so there are a lot of quarterbacks that people like in college. I'm sure you've taken a precursory look at them. Who do you like? Who's the top guy on your list, and who's number two?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to be between, as right now, January 3rd, whatever. I'm still between Caleb Williams and Drake Mayer as the top guy. I haven't dove in, Michael, and just studied those guys.
Right.
If I was going to pick one, it would be Caleb, just because I've seen him make unbelievable plays. Talent-wise, on the field, physical talent-wise, he is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar-like. Talent-wise. He's Josh Allen because he's always searching for the big plays. He makes these jaw-dropping plays. He's Patrick because physically he could do things that just only that person can do throw-wise. And he's Lamar because he's unbelievably creative. Now, there's downsides to Caleb. You're going to have to get him to play in structure. He's not massive. He's probably 6'1", I bet 215 pounds. That's why Drake May is still very much so in the conversation for me. Let me say this about Drake May for everybody. Number one, don't look at him as, oh my gosh, he played quarterback in North Carolina. He could have gone to anywhere in the country that he wanted. He had offers from everybody. His family's a Carolina family. That's why he went to Carolina. Two, he is 6'4", 230 pounds. He's going to run 4.5. He is the physical freak, prototypical size. Three, he snaps of college football and thrown it a ton. He's got a ton of reps, and he's unbelievably talented. So between those two guys, I'm still torn. I would not be surprised if by the time the draft comes, I would have Drake May as number one.
How concerned would you be about Penix and his knees?
I don't know anything about his knees, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about, because the torn ACL? Yeah, that's got to be a part of the conversation. Obviously, we are so much more advanced medically than we were a long time ago. Quarterbacks in the NFL don't take hits like they used to, even though we've lost basically every starter in the year this year, which is crazy. It would have to have value or weigh. That and his age are going to have to be part of the conversation for you. I will tell you this. No one in this draft throws it better. All right, no one in the draft will throw it better, both in a combine, individual workout, or on tape. When it comes to just purely, can you go place this ball exactly where you need to? No one does it like Penix.
Are you at all concerned about Kansas City? Do you think they're broken?
Broken, no. Concerned, of course. This is the worst team that they've had since Andy and Patrick have been together. Team. Certainly their worst offense. It's hard, Michael, to call really good plays offensively over the course of 4 quarters when the number one thing you have to think about every play is, okay, what tackle do I have to help and how? Both their tackles have played for me all year. And then number 2, what guy can I get this ball or design to get this ball to that I believe is going to see it the same way as Patrick and then catch it? And that's kind of the burden that has been placed on this offense. And I will say this, last week it was the best it's been in a while of them getting out of their own way, them not hurting themselves. They weren't great on third down, but the outside of that, or the opposite side of that, is if you're a little bit better on third down, that game's not even close. So, yes, I'm concerned, but I still think if they can play clean football, they're good enough.
Now, I'm not going to get into the silliness that people get into with regarding Taylor Swift. That's his private life. But do you think that age is catching up with Travis Kelce? Is he less of a player than he once was because he's getting older now?
Yes. On tape, he looks like a lesser version of what he has been. He has not separated as much. He's not been sudden as much. He's not been as dynamic with the ball in his hands. And he's had drops this year. So, still a very good player, a very high-end player. And he's coming off of season last year where he was outstanding. But this year, he is a lesser player.
How broken are the Eagles?
Very. Defensively, number 1, structurally and schematically, it's worse under Matt Patricia. He takes their best pass rusher and drops him into coverage too much. 2, the interior of their defensive line is not nearly as good as it was last year. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, both those young players haven't developed like they hoped to this year. 3, their linebackers can't cover and they can't get to the run. 4, the only person that can cover well is Darius Slay. Right now he's been hurt. No one gets off blocks and they don't tackle well. Offensively, the offensive line hasn't been nearly as dominant as they were. Jalen doesn't trust the pocket. They don't call games, they call plays. There's very little rhythm to their offense. They don't really have much of a designed drop-back pass game, and they lack consistency. So I would be more surprised that if Philly goes on a run than if they go one and done.
Is it surprising to you, Dan, we're talking with Dan Orlovsky on his weekly segment on the show, that there's a possibility, and it looks like they will not play Hurts, they have a chance to win? They have a chance to win the division. Even if you didn't have a chance, Dan, don't you want to play your regular players so they could snap out of this before the playoffs?
Absolutely. I would much rather play my guys and get some good mojo going and get some good confidence going, whether it's overall or situational. And there hasn't been great mojo going on there for a couple weeks, maybe into 2 months. And the fact that, you know how bad it's going to be and I don't think it's going to happen, but God bless, it's the NFL. If Dallas somehow loses to Washington and you sit Hurts and you got a chance to reclaim the division and you lose, woof, that'll be bad.
So it looks like it'll be Baltimore and San Francisco. Those seem to be the favorites. Who are some of the teams that can upset the apple cart in each of those conferences?
Yeah, I'll start in the NFC. I think the team, I don't think in either conference, either of those top teams, you're going to beat them if they play their A game. If Baltimore and San Francisco play their A game, they're going to Super Bowl. Okay, so 1, in the NFC, you got to catch them on a B day. If you do, who can knock them off best? I think it's the Los Angeles Rams. 2 reasons why. 1, you got to run the ball off tackle versus San Francisco. That's the main thing that Los Angeles has started to do this year. Kyron Williams, their back, leads the NFL in rush yards per game. 2, you got to throw the ball outside. And you got to have a quarterback that can make adult, big boy, big-time throws to the outside. Matthew Stafford, we know, is capable of that. In the AFC, I'll give you 2 teams. One I feel better than the other. Cleveland, because their defense is so good, I still think at some point the injuries catch up to them in the playoffs. The team that they got to get in is Buffalo. 1, you've got to have speed defensively to play against Baltimore. They have a ton of it. 2, if you're going to go knock off a team that is that good, it's not going to be because your quarterback plays good. It's going to be because your quarterback puts on a performance that makes us go, holy crap, that was unbelievable. And I think Josh Allen's capable of that. I think Josh Allen is capable of minimizing a defense that is unbelievable with his quarterback run and his capability. And if Buffalo gets in, and I would be surprised if they lost this weekend, I think that's the team that is built to do so.
Finally, Saquon Barkley spoke today, said, he doesn't want to be franchised. Well, I don't want to be ugly, but I am. But he's going to get franchised. And, he wants to be a Giant for life. And this is going to be an unpopular take here in New York City. Listen, I see the moments of greatness with Saquon. I also see running into the line, no gain, 16 yards. No gain, drop pass. I mean, do you want Saquon Barkley back if you're the Giants?
Absolutely. At the right price, absolutely. At a ridiculous price, no. At some point, business is business. Michael, I'm from Connecticut. I'm not a New York sports fan in the least bit.
Right.
But I have plenty of friends who are. I just believe that the market is different, and I just believe the fan base is different in a good way. And if you take that player and, again, squabble over a couple $1 million here or there and allow him to leave your building when he, on and off the field, is in many ways everything that you can cross your fingers about, I think that's bad business. I think that's a bad look. I think it's bad for your football team. Saquon Barkley and his salary is not going to be the reason this team gets held back in the future.
So you think he's a great player, though? You think he's a great player?
I do. I think that understanding of the importance of how poor the offensive line was this year has to matter. Now, I know he hasn't been helped. Again, Michael, this is in the context of a fair number. This isn't in the context of you overpaid by $2.5, $3 million a year for Saquon. This is in the context of a fair number. A great player, absolutely. I think he is maybe not as dynamic and versatile, but he is Christian McCaffrey-like in many ways. And I think if I'm the Giants, it's like, hey, we're going to draft a quarterback. Hopefully the guy that we really want falls to us, and we're going to re-sign Saquon because he's too important to our organization, not just our team.
What's your response to Michael's specific criticism? Michael's very big on when Saquon runs, it's 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 15 yards.
That's always been Saquon, though. That's always been Saquon.
But is that what you want?
Saquon had outstanding vision.
But you look at Isaiah Pacheco, and this guy's ripping off 12-yard runs, 15-yard runs. It's not the same thing.
Isaiah Pacheco doesn't have Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. He ain't got the interior of Kansas City's offensive line. He doesn't have the teams playing pass game shell like Patrick Mahomes is going to force defenses to do.
Well, that's fair.
Saquon runs into way more defenders than Pacheco does.
But on that team, is he worth that kind of money then?
On the Giants?
Yeah, I mean, if they can't open up holes for him, and it's like first and 9, and second and 9, 3rd and 7. I mean, that's what you get because he runs into the line a lot. They're not opening holes for him.
Yeah, I think with a little bit better improved run play and a more threatened pass game,
right,
you see a different production.
Fair enough. Dan, thanks so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
All right, that's the Dan Orlovsky Report brought to you by Sansone Auto Mall. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Call Sansone Auto Mall at 1-800-SANSONE. Mention Bart Scott and benefit from exclusive employee pricing. You pay what they pay. We'll talk more about Saquon and what he said today when we get back. Also, your phone calls, Kayla Greco-Rosenberg and you on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
the button to order lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone and
My phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
To find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start? Today? Now? Tomorrow? How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense. Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
So people think they're open.
Surprise! Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No. Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that.
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
You are watching Yes. Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. It's gone from bad to worse ever since the Nets rested their players in a winnable game against the Bucks back on December 27th. They lost their next game down in Washington, D.C. against the Wizards team that had won just 5 games entering that contest. Then they were thunderstruck in Oklahoma City on New Year's Eve. Last night, they went to the Big Easy, where it was anything but easy against the Pelicans. New Orleans jumped out to a big lead in the first and never looked back. C.J. McCollum led the way for the Pelicans with 16. 7 different New Orleans players were in double digits, while the Nets featured just 2, with Cam Johnson being the high man with 17. Spencer Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, and Cam Thomas played a combined 69 minutes and didn't score. They went a combined 0 for 23 from the field and 0 for 13 from 3. The Pelicans built up a lead as big as 32. Jacques Vaughn afterwards had this to say about his team's effort, quote, "If you're really desperate about winning, then you dive on the floor, you'll do it all. You'll get cuts and bruises, and you'll go home sore. We're not there yet. It's just as simple as that." Brooklyn is now 4 games under 500 and the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Nets get a chance to bounce back tonight in Houston when they wrap up the second game of a back-to-back. Our coverage begins with the pregame at 7:30, followed by opening tip a little after 8. It's the Nets and the Rockets. Coverage starting tonight at 7:30 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
When he was asked, how would you feel if you were franchise tagged to them?
If they franchise tag me again, I don't know. Obviously, I don't think any player wants to get franchise tagged. Sometimes the franchise tag is, a placeholder to be able to work on a deal later. In my case, it wasn't last year. So, yeah, if I got tagged again, I think I'd give you a better answer, talk about my emotions in that time, if it does happen.
As long as they agree to a CBA that has franchise tags in it, you have no kick coming. I'm sorry.
But even so, how are we supposed to resolve the dilemma of Saquon Barkley? All right, he's been healthy this year for the most part, right? So he's played for the most part. He did miss some games, but 13 games. He's gonna finish as a 1,000-yard rusher unless he doesn't have a very good game this year, this week. So he's got 913 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and receiving. He's got God, it's so difficult to even read. Whatever, another 4. So 8 touchdowns total. But you just heard Orlovsky say that the team isn't very good.
Right.
Well, when is the team going to be good that we can really get the best out of Saquon Barkley? Otherwise, I'm going to give him a ton of money and just be average again because the offensive line is no good and I don't have a quarterback and all that?
Dan did say specifically he wouldn't give him a ton of money.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, so if you franchise him, I think he gets a 20% bump. So that would take him to $12.5 million. You willing to give him and please, I'm sorry, Dan brought it up. I wasn't going to sit there and argue with him. He's not Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey moves the chains, finds holes, is elusive. I'm sorry. I think. Listen, I love Saquon. He seems like he's a terrific guy. He doesn't blow me away, and maybe it's because of the people the Giants have around him. But again, he's a lot like first and 10, second and 9, third and 7. That's what you get. And then you live for that 140-yard burst. And in the game against the Rams, how many balls did he drop, Don?
Oh, it killed him. That one drive, that one drop was killer. But the Giants have not been a good team for the most part since he's been here, with the exception of last year. And last year, he was sick. 1,300 yards rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns. He was a terrific player last year on a team and an offense that functioned. I don't know what the Giants are going to be next year. Who's their quarterback? Is their offensive line going to be any better? How much money are they going to spend on weapons when you don't even know who the quarterback is going to be? So I'm going to give Saquon Barkley a ton of money to do what? The one thing we can ascertain through what he has been since he's been here, if the team is good, he's a great asset to have because he's very explosive. But if the team's not very good, there isn't really much that you're going to be able to do.
He's not going to make them.
He's a guy that's great in space. He makes people miss, but he's not Derrick Henry. He's not going to run downhill. He's not going to create his own holes. So if the offensive line is struggling and the quarterback isn't a legitimate threat and they're not going to spend a ton of money in free agency on wide receivers or another tight end, and it's going to be Waller playing hurt and who's 3-4 different quarterbacks during the course of the season, do I need to have a ton of money spent on a position that's not really going to make me much better?
So I do land a little bit closer to where Dan did, and I know this isn't smart business, but I do think there's value to simply, and again, not paying through the nose, but if you can keep him and franchise him during a period like this where this team has been so questionable and not a good product, I think there's value to just having that 26 jersey on the team.
Okay.
I do.
For
I think there's a lot of value there.
But are you giving him a 3-year deal for like $35 million, $36 million?
No. How do you do? Because that's the other thing. Well,
that's what he's going to want, Don.
But he's going to be 27 years old next year. So now we're getting to that point where would you give anybody, even a productive running back, a long-term, meaning 3 years, through a guy that's going to be 27? So I'm going to be paying him 27, 28, 29 years old. Everybody was flipping out when the Jets picked up the kid from Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. He's 28 years old. And then what happened? Now, the Jets weren't very good, but he didn't look that great either because that's when you hit a wall as a running back. So am I going to be paying a lot of money to a 28, 29-year-old quarterback? If I got to give him 3 years, that's what I'm going to have to give him. Or do you play the wait-and-see game of let's franchise him again, hopefully the offensive line is better, hopefully they figure it out at quarterback, and they can actually go for it next year? Because if they go for it next year, I want Saquon. But if it's going to be still part of the rebuild, wouldn't that money be spent better someplace else, especially if I'm going to have to carry an extra quarterback while I'm waiting for Daniel Jones to come back from injury?
I just feel kind of bad for Saquon because he has Christian McCaffrey envy, and he's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not that guy.
He also doesn't play on the teams that Christian McCaffrey played for because when Carolina gave McCaffrey the money, though, and then the second they got bad, they traded him away because he wouldn't have been productive there in Carolina. Then he goes to San Francisco, a ready-made championship team.
But how special was Carolina while he was there?
Not special.
They weren't good.
But there are running backs that don't have great offensive lines that actually.
Well, Derrick Henry's the best example. Yeah. I mean, no matter what Tennessee is, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry.
That is an old-fashioned running back. He's going to grind into the hole. That Saquon is like a Barry Sanders type. You know, we all look at the highlight reels of Barry Sanders running for 70 yards.
There's a lot of
times he got dropped for 5-yard loss because they didn't open any holes for him. I'm not comparing him to Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is a Hall of Famer, but you know what I'm saying is that there were a lot of misses. For every home run, you know, there was a 5-yard loss. And it was also completely ineffective at the goal line because he couldn't drive through, you know, the line. That's not how he was built. He wasn't Emmitt Smith.
But also, again, this back to the McCaffrey and the Emmitt Smith. Who did Emmitt Smith have around him?
Oh,
Emmitt Smith had one of the great lines of all time, and he took advantage of it.
I am sure Barry Sanders would have been just fine in Dallas. But they were different types of runners.
For sure.
You can give the ball to Emmitt Smith on a 4th and 1, and he might be able to move the line to get the 1 yard. That's not what Barry Sanders was about.
I think there is a piece here with the Saquon thing, and again, you guys might think this is corny. And I know at times the Giants have called into question the idea of the Giant way. But if that does exist, though, Saquon embodies that, and there is value there.
But they have set themselves back before because of their love for players. Keeping Eli Manning as long as they did hurt them.
But I guess
swinging for the fences while Eli was still there, that set the Giants back to where they are now.
But I guess the question is, how much would it hurt them at this stage?
If they have the same problems at offensive line again, why are you bringing Saquon back? Why? For what reason?
To honestly, I mean, I think to give the kids who root for your team someone to root for on this team, to not just throw away seasons where there's no one fun to root for.
This isn't baseball where you're trying to draw fans and garner ratings. It's the building's going to be full. It's football. So you got to do what's best for your team. And I get it. He's a good kid, and there's 26 jerseys all over the place. But in a year where I'm trying to rebuild my offensive line, I'm trying to find weapons, I'm trying to find a quarterback. Every dime is going to be just so important, and if it's going to be another one of those kind of feel your way through type of seasons where I'm going to win like 6-7 games, maybe make the play, I don't know. I need to see. I'm kind of with you if the money's right. But, you know, given a 3-year contract.
Well, and Saquon, some of this is going to come to Saquon. If Saquon really does, in fact, believe what he says, and I take him at face value that he wants to be a career Giant, he understands the situation they're in and would probably have to take a haircut and say, I want to stay. How can we make it work?
He wanted to be a career Giant. He turned down 3 years at $36 million. So he wants to be a career Giant at a price that he wants.
No, and that's fair. I get it.
I understand it's a business, but if he's aiming for McCaffrey money, he's not the same player. He's just not. Let's go to the phones, 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Joey Clams. Joey, Happy New Year.
Hey, Donnie. Ask this guy why this place is such a friggin' dump. How you doing?
Donnie Brasco, I love it.
What's going on?
How are you?
Good.
Nothing. Yeah, how are you? Listen, why are the Jets bringing Salah back? In 3 years, you tell me one thing this guy did good. This guy's got a 29 winning percentage. He's going to go into New England this week, and he's going to lose again and be 0-12 on the road versus division. I mean, this guy belongs in Buffalo Wild Wings in the corner with the high five crowd with the fantasy football buffoons cheering on.
But you know why? Because Rodgers wants him.
Don, you know this guy is not a good head coach. He doesn't understand how to coach the game. That whole building has to get cleared out from the general manager on. Clear out everybody, the secretaries, everybody. You got to start fresh with everything like they
But
did
they're
in
not
Kansas
starting
City.
fresh. Even if you do that, they're not starting fresh.
They're bringing back Aaron Rodgers.
It's still the Rodgers thing.
Come next year or the year after. When Rodgers leaves, you're back in the same.
Listen, I don't disagree with you, but Joey, if you're going to do that, that also means giving up on Rodgers and trying to find a way to part ways with him.
You know what? I'm a big Rodgers fan. So be it. What's the difference? You're going to be stuck. He's 41 years old.
I hear you.
He's just coming off a bad injury. Look what the Chiefs did. Andy Reid says, "I'm not coming up to Kansas City until you clear everybody out of that building." And look what he did. You got a clean house. Everything. You need structure in the building. The franchise needs a face of the franchise to clean that out. It's been garbage for so long.
But Joey, I know that Don's gonna hate when I say this. All right, so you want a clean house, but the house designer's awful. Every time they brought in different furniture, it still looked like crap. So the guys that's going to be making the changes are the people that have brought in the people that you don't like. And they're going to bring in more people. The person who owns the team took a phone call from Peyton Manning and thought that Adam Gase was the way to go. So that's certainly not a cure-all. But yeah, it might remove the stink now, but what are you bringing in?
You've made your bed with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wants him back. So what are you going to do? Say no? And if you're going to say no, to Michael's point, then is Woody Johnson going to find somebody better? And then Aaron's got to approve him. I think Aaron Rodgers wants somebody that's not going to be in his way. And Robert, I don't think he cares about Robert Saleh, the coach. He probably just, I want somebody that's going to stand in my way. It's me and Nathaniel Hackett, this offense. Let's Saleh deal with the defense, which is very good, and let's go out there and win. I don't think he wants somebody that's going to be in his face and have things to say. And I think he just likes the structure. And you're going to tell Aaron Rodgers no when you've built your whole franchise around him?
You've made your bed. You've got to sleep in it now for 2 more years, and you better get something out of it. Otherwise, the place is going to be just filled with bed bugs. That's all there is to it. Either you're going to get to an AFC Championship game, or this whole experiment has been one of the worst experiments of all time. Well, the worst. Everything that it brings along with it. All the outside noise, the whole deal. The whole deal. This new year, it's time to finally lose the weight the safe and natural way with NJ Diet.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to theblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
The next Powerball drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
Basketball show. The league is in absolute chaos. Players going off pretty much every other playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers. It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the all. Got the young guys
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Run. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat, sourced from trusted partners, with free shipping, always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Giving is in the air. Gift up to $1 million with holiday scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
The NBA app is everyone's app. Everyone looking for a bandwagon. Every statistician always in the weeds.
Points, rebounds, assists.
Every streetwear king who's here for the drip. Every Nuggets fan still reigning like a champ. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league.
Oh my, look at this.
Global talent, local passion, all with a British twist.
I know that you know what I mean when it comes to unleashing the beast.
Witness unbeatable moments every weekend from September to May. The British Basketball League.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
It's easy to stay safe online. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
The Nets have lost 4 straight and 9 of their last 11 games. Tomorrow night, they wrap up their 4-game road trip with a stop in Houston, the second of a back-to-back set of games where they will try to snap out of their current slide. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 7:30, followed by opening tip a little after 8. It's the Nets and the Rockets. Tonight, coverage starting at 7:30 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Yes app.
If you missed Tom Crean's whole interview, hearing on the podcast, he answered a question to Don that there's not a team that the Knicks can't beat, including Milwaukee and Boston, he said.
Well, on any given night, I would agree. But now, in the best of 7, I think he was a little...
I thought it was a little much. I mean, I was surprised at how effusive he was.
Well, that happens when you're talking about a player that he had and he groomed. So I think you take it with a grain of salt. But I felt, even before the interview, that when they're clicking, they can beat anybody. But you're talking about them all clicking and then winning a best of 7 series. Very difficult to do because the 2 teams they're chasing after, forget Philadelphia, is, Boston's been there, done that.
Boston's great.
So...
By the way, how's that Marcus Smart trade working out? Porzingis pretty good.
You saw I changed my mind pretty quickly.
Okay, but the day it happened, you were whining.
Well, because he really enjoyed Marcus Smart. So you don't listen to people. This is like from White Man Can't Jump. Like, you listen, but you don't hear him. You listen to what Peter has to say, but you don't hear Peter. You can't hear Peter. Peter made it very clear. It was beyond the numbers and all. It was just, that's one of his favorite players.
And then I realized, I see what they're doing. They're putting something together that's special here. That's going to make sense.
Why don't you just trust Brad Stevens and not yourself?
I'm telling you this, though. I never didn't trust him. It just hurt my feelings. But I think Marcus will be back one day, too.
Oh, wow. Strong take.
They'll end up winning it with Marcus in the end. That'll be the piece.
They're going to win it this year, maybe. He's not coming back this year.
Maybe. Well, you never know.
Wow.
Well, what do you know
that?
stuff?
I'm talking to people.
Let's go to David in Brooklyn. David?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. There's a narrative that Aaron Rodgers running the Jets as if it's some bad thing. What evidence has the Jets in the last 20 years proven that they can run their own franchise? So I say let Aaron Rodgers run the team.
But what evidence is there that Aaron Rodgers should run a team?
He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. At least let him run the offense.
Alan Lazard's worked out great. Randall Cobb's worked out great.
Alan Lazard is just one example.
No, I'm giving you more.
Billy Turner, all of them, they were supposed to be low-end backups. Alan Lazard is the only person, and that's what they were supposed to be.
But David, sometimes the worst GMs in the world are players. LeBron has proven that. Just because you're a great player doesn't mean you know how to put together a team. Why should he get to put together a team?
I don't think he's putting together a team, but I think he's a sounding board, and I think as well he should be a sounding board. For them.
Any star should be a sounding board. You're absolutely right. Different. But I think he's more than a sounding board, David. I'm sorry. I think he's more than a sounding board.
I understand what he's saying as far as the Jets haven't done a good job. Let somebody else try.
Oh, you beat the GM.
But the problem with it is, do you think Aaron Rodgers cares, or should he even care, about the long-term health of the Jets? So every decision that Aaron Rodgers is going to lean towards is what helps me win a championship right away. A general manager is going to look and say, I want to win a championship right away, but I need to protect the future of this franchise as well. I need to make sure we're okay beyond Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to worry about that. So I think that's the problem is, let him give it a try, but is it the long-term benefit of the team to have Rodgers make those decisions?
Azzy in New Jersey. Azzy.
Hey, guys. It's AZ here. Happy New Year.
I'm sorry. How you do, AZ?
No problem. So I just wanted to say, right, I think the whole Aaron Rodgers comment that he made against Jimmy Kimmel was a little misconstrued, and I'll tell you guys why I think so. So, like 9 months ago, Jimmy Kimmel was on his show, and I don't know if you guys had heard this yet. I only just tuned into the show about a half hour ago, And anyways, Jimmy Kimmel ran a clip of Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show 9 months ago, and he had said, Aaron Rodgers was talking about the list. And he called him a whacker packer, and Aaron Rodgers was talking about the Epstein list. And he said that I think Aaron Rodgers needs to go back to the concussion protocol. So now fast forward 9 months later, Aaron Rodgers makes a joke saying if the list comes out, Jimmy Kimmel's not going to be happy.
How do you know that was that a joke? What kind of joke is that about a pedophile? How's that a joke?
But Jimmy Kimmel made the joke first. What I'm saying is,
no, Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about why is Aaron Rodgers talking about the Epstein list? Why is that even a point of discussion? Why should Aaron Rodgers be talking about that?
I hear you, Mike, but give me a second. Granted, maybe that show is not the platform for it, but Aaron Rodgers didn't say it in a joking way from what I recall. He was just talking about a list. He was talking about, I don't know, I guess conspiracy theories, yada, yada, yada. Right. But my thing is, how is it now that Jimmy Kimmel is making it seem as if Aaron Rodgers pulled his name out of thin air and made it as if he was on that list? No, he was
why don't we listen? Here's what he said, all right? AZ, let's hear what he said. Here we go. This is what he said on McAfee yesterday.
Bring it up, Foxy or somebody back
Seats on it.
You have Super Bowl 58.
You'll see it.
The emblem, put it on the screen.
This has something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
That's supposed to be coming out soon.
Look, this guy's been waiting in his wine cellar.
Yeah. A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't...
All right. Is that a joke? A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, don't want that list to come out? What? Well, how's that a joke?
Jimmy Kimmel was saying that he was wrong about a list even existing. But the point is, Jimmy Kimmel's acting as if he got his name pulled out of thin air. You called out Aaron Rodgers first, and he took a shot back at you.
No, but he didn't take a shot. It's libelous. Now, whether it ends up being proven in a court of law, you can't throw out that kind of allegation. That's not joke. He crossed the line,
But Don,
AZ.
he didn't pull his name out of thin air. If Aaron Rodgers goes, and I'm going to use you as an example, Don. You never commented about an Epstein list, anything like that, and Aaron Rodgers goes, well, Don's going to be upset if that list comes out. Well, then that's inappropriate. But if you had already if Jimmy Kimmel had already quoted him on this, and he just took a shot back saying, I'm right. What he's saying is, I'm right, there's a list, and Jimmy Kimmel's going to be upset that I'm right, because Jimmy Kimmel's always taking shots at Aaron.
But Jimmy wasn't saying, I didn't see Jimmy as mocking him that the list existed. Jimmy was mocking him for the randomness of the statement about the Epstein list.
Okay, I looked at it differently, and I just wanted to bring up, I don't think that he was implying that Kimmel was on the list. I just think that he was implying that the list exists, and I took it as Jimmy thought that's a conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool of you to give us some background, AZ, but what I would like to know is if that's exactly the case, why wouldn't Aaron Rodgers say that today? Why would he come out and say, this guy said there was no list, and that's why I'm saying he's hoping there's no list, because it'll prove that he's wrong. Instead, we've gotten complete silence out of the Jet facility and Aaron Rodgers. And the only one who was forced to apologize in any way, shape, or form was Pat McAfee. And why did Pat McAfee have to cover for Aaron Rodgers? Why?
Well, it is sort of on Pat, though, in that way. Pat spends the money.
Pat didn't even ask the question.
I know, but it's his show, and he pays Rodgers.
But yeah, he's the one who decided to get in bed with Rodgers in a big way, and you invite your friend over to the house, and your friend breaks something, it's kind of on you. That is kind of what happened here.
If you invite your friend over to the house and he breaks something, the friend pays for it.
I hear you, but ultimately it lands on you that it happened. Your parents are going to be mad that you had people over and something got broken. This is Pat's house.
If you invite somebody to a party and he wrecks, steals the purse of Jody,
right?
The owner, of the guy that invited him, is going to say, "I'm really sorry about that. You're responsible for him. You invited him to your house, so." You may not be responsible for all of his actions, but you kind of...
And we have to be real.
Kind of are.
Pat has benefited quite a bit from Rodgers being on the show.
Of course.
And this was now a negative repercussion from that same thing.
He signed a big contract with ESPN. Rodgers was on the show before the ESPN deal.
Correct.
ENN's coming up in just a moment. Stick around right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start? Today? Now? Tomorrow? How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense. Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked?
Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
I like following sports, and I wanted to have a source that would be satisfying, and The Athletic gives me what I'm looking for. There's a plethora of content. There's so much stuff to read, and there's so many different perspectives. How could I lose? I love that The Athletic distracts me in a positive, refreshing, and entertaining manner. I really like that.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Run. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
A day, 2 days, they haven't drank anything, they're cold, they're dehydrated.
As soon as we started our descent, everywhere I could see was mud. Just absolutely mud.
The country has been in prolonged drought for so long, it was like a tinderbox waiting to go up.
Okay, very heavy. Each of us wants to be part of the solution, and we can be. Remember that there's good happening right now. At home.
All right, we were able to get into your unit, and we have all 4 of your cats. So,
okay.
And around the world. For any animal in any disaster. So let's focus on that, right? Be part of the solution, one rescue at a time. Search ifa.org/disaster ready.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
You sure I can't just pick up with the conversation we were just having?
No.
I want to tell you.
Wouldn't be good for everybody.
I would be looked at in a different light.
One day, in the not-so-distant future, when Michael's ready to move on to greener pastures.
Like on the show? That's
Like
going to be 20
TV.
years from now.
The show, the Yankees will have to go away, too. This will be like the, down the line. They find it is a ways off. And Michael just starts doing rogue interviews. He's gonna drop bombs on people that no one's gonna expect.
You dropped the bomb on me.
It's gonna be some really good stuff.
You dropped
Guys, welcome to ENN.
Welcome.
Start off by saying good evening to Michael.
Hey, I'm doing a nice thing. Get my wife a gift, and this is how I'm going to go. At the Westchester Mall in the Gucci shop.
And to Michael.
There's no spot on my body that makes me feel happy.
And to Don.
I'm a pretty big guy.
And to Don.
I might be able to fight some people off.
And to myself. My wife's feet are wasted on me. And to myself.
I only saw the sniffing.
Sorry, that was Anthony.
I only saw the sniffing.
You missed one, though. It was unfortunate. The one I said about the guy doing me with the massage, I really thought
he was doing you a favor.
Really?
I think he's cleaning up the mess for you. Clean up aisle 5.
My wife's feet are wasted on me.
Tootin'. How did Buttle get in there? Buttle sent me meat, by the way, for Christmas. Tremendous.
He sent you meat?
Yeah, Omaha steaks.
Oh, that's a great gift. I love Omaha steaks.
It was we had kind of a warmish day. One of the days were like in the 50s.
You barbecued?
Barbecued.
Now, what did you send Buttle?
Nothing.
Well, that's not a good friend.
I wasn't expecting to get.
Well, but you
delivery.
got it now. Send something.
No, he didn't. No, he's not the bad guy. You're the bad guy.
Why am I always the bad guy?
The fact that you and Jody agreed to no gift, and then you went out and not only got her something like cute, but you went out and got an expensive bag.
Right.
I thought words mean something to you. I thought agreements mean something. Mm-hmm. Why did you throw it out the window?
You know what? That's the equivalent of dunking on her. You wanted to make her feel
This
bad.
has nothing to do with what I just said about Don. You just completely turned the
because
story
that wasn't,
around.
no,
Don, a guy that he considers like a brother, sent him a pile of Omaha steaks, which are a delight. But there's a very, very few better gifts than Omaha steaks. And he gets them, and nothing. He doesn't return anything, doesn't send him anything.
No,
That's
I don't
wrong.
think he's expecting anything. But I sent him a thank you.
Well, gee, we're going to put that on the grill.
Again, this is not relevant. Don did not. They had no agreement. Does he send you a gift every year,
no.
Don?
No.
It was a random gift.
What did he send Dan?
I think the same thing.
My guess is, knowing Greg, something fell off the back of a truck, you know what I'm saying? And he had some people to take care of. So he sent them all around. It was sort of like the Lufthansa heist. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying he's Henry Hill, is what
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Interesting.
And there were some people that died that deserved steaks, but he just didn't want to give them up.
Right, exactly. So in this case, Don wasn't expecting it, and he said, hey, you know what? I came up on something good. I'll give you a little taste. But in your case, you and Jody sat down.
Right.
You said, enough with the presents already. We've been together for a long time. It's a waste. It's stupid.
It's all about the kids.
It's about the kids. No gifts. I love it, by the way. I take no issue with it. And Natalie and I didn't do real gifts this year.
You're cheap.
And yet you turn around after making the agreement.
Right.
And buy her an expensive bag.
But Don explains it well. He's explained it over the years. I just like to win.
Right.
Yeah.
So you broke the agreement just so you could dunk in her face.
She did okay. She got a Gucci bag.
But it's not right.
On
You dunked on your own wife.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
For no reason whatsoever.
Because I love her, that's why.
Buttle sent me meat, by the way, for Christmas. He dunked on her up 30.
Yeah, that's the thing that's so crazy.
What, are you going to lay it in?
I'm just saying, you could dribble out the clock.
No, it's a 24-second clock. I get a turnover if I do that.
It was late in the season, right?
Do you guys want to hear from one of the teachers on Peanuts?
Yes.
Here's Robert Sala on Zach's season.
I thought he had great OTAs, great training camp. Thought he battled. He fought. He's a fighter. He really is. Obviously, there's things that I know he wishes he could have back. I know there's a lot of things that he improved on. Some things were out of his control. But I've said it, and I'll say it again. I think he's going to have a long career in this league.
Do you see that career being here?
We'll see. It's all things that we're going to have to talk about once the season's over. But whether it's here or somewhere else, I believe he's going to have a hell of a career.
All right. There's two things I'd like to pick apart. Okay. Had a great training camp. He was glorified. Nothing. It's Aaron Rodgers' job. There's no pressure in training camp for him.
Nothing, Burger.
Number two, he's going to have a good career in the NFL. What an indictment of you. If you think he's going to have a good career in the NFL, why can't he have it with the Jets?
Or it's an indictment of Hackett.
It's an indictment of the Jets. If he's going to have a good career in the NFL, he's under your employ. You have him for another year under contract. Why is he not going to be a good player with you?
I'm not going to get on him because he's going to have no say in whether he stays or goes. But if he did, I would say, well, if you know he's going to have a great career,
then make him better.
Then you have to keep him. Why would you get rid of a quarterback that you know is going to have a great career? That's why it's a nothing burger. Now, I don't want to get on him. He's asked to answer questions. A lot of these questions are better suited for Joe Douglas, who doesn't speak. Salah speaks 5 times a week. It's so unfair the way organizations structure the coach or manager to have to talk every day, and the general manager and the owner can hide behind a wall and never say anything. It's awful, and I feel bad for Robert. But if we're going to hold him in his word, then if he thinks he's a great quarterback, he should fight like hell to say we shouldn't be getting rid of him. Pick up his 5th-year option, then, if you think he's going to be that great.
If you think he's a great quarterback and he's not a great quarterback with you, then what does it say about the New York Jets?
And then there's the other end of it, too. If he's got to go someplace else to be a great quarterback, it's an indictment on you. If you are assured that he's going to be a great quarterback and Aaron Rodgers is only giving you a year or two in the future, then you should do everything to keep him.
I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he can exist in the NFL. I don't think he's a great quarterback anywhere.
Me neither. And I got to figure out, what is it? Is it the offensive line? Is it the coaching? Why can no quarterback be good here?
And it's just 2 different offensive coaches, too.
It's 2 different offensive coaches. Flacco was here, guys. I was very hard on Flacco. I was like, remember, I said he forgot how to play football. He literally looked like a completely incapable quarterback. Now, people are discussing whether after this season, he's going to get a 2-year, $20 million contract to play more.
Listen.
Why couldn't he play here?
Here's a question. Offensively, what was the last great head coach they've had that was an offensive coach?
Well, I mean, the last offensive coach was Gase, and he was awful.
It was Gase, and before that, it was Kotite. So we're going over 30 years. Your offensive head coaches have been Kotite and Gase, 2 of the worst coaches that we've seen in New York in forever. All right, what offensive coordinator was plucked from some other organization? Like, give me a great offensive coach that they had, a great offensive mind, somebody they can build around. Steve Young said it at nauseum when we had him as a weekly. They have not built a culture in which a quarterback can grow. All of their head coaches have been defensive head coaches. All of their great assistant coaches have been defensive guys. Have they had anybody? They had to go out and get Josh McCown to help Sam Darnold. They didn't have anybody to coach anybody up. The two most important aspects of a football team are the quarterback and the coach, or the coaching. Have either of those things been good for the Jets in forever? When was the last time they had a great head coach? Even Rex. If Rex is your best example,
but he was defensive too.
He was a defensive guy,
and he's good, not great. He was good. Now, you mentioning Sam is funny because Sam isn't going on to become a Hall of Famer, but he's clearly better now than he was when he was here.
Well, we don't know. He hasn't played with the 49ers.
No, but last year in Carolina, he was better.
Played pretty well in that last.
And when he jumped in, he was still pretty good.
He played at the end of the Baltimore game and actually looked pretty. He threw a pick at the end of the game, but he actually looked pretty good.
But even if you look back in Carolina, he was decent enough to then go get a job in San Francisco. He's been decent.
Back up, but you're right.
Geno Smith, turns out he could play quarterback. Joe Flacco, completely finished. Turns out he can still play quarterback. Everyone who's here can manage to play some football somewhere, but not here.
I think the Dolphins won a division with Chad Pennington as a quarterback. They were playing in a Wildcat, but it just shows you.
It's crazy.
The two places you can't be bad, Peter. The Jets have been bad. Like you said, Rex Ryan is an example of a good coach, but it was a couple of winning seasons. Herm Edwards had some success here, but they're all defensive guys.
But you wonder, Don, is it something in the water? Because LaFleur, we just wrote him off bad offense. He's doing great in L.A. Stafford's having a great year. Now, you can say McVay really runs the offense, but he's still coaching. McVay can't coach hands-on every day.
That's why I said coaching. When you put together the coaching offensively, I mean, you don't think McVay has a major
Of course, he's calling the plays.
So you have Shanahan in San Francisco. I mean, you've got underlings, but it helped. Honestly, unless, and it's, listen, Pete Carroll was a defensive guy. Obviously, Bill Belichick, a defensive guy. But if I am an NFL team and I'm hiring a coach, you've really got to twist my arm and convince me to hire a defensive guy the way this sport is structured right now.
This is one of the things that frustrates me about football teams having to be like so protective like it's the military. I wish we could get some understanding from the Jets. Like, I wish they could have to give us a year-end explanation. Obviously, we know things.
Well, we'll talk to Douglas.
Well, but he won't. Right, but I like Joe. He's not going to tell us.
Well, you know what? We've got some really. Listen, we like Joe, but we got to put the screws to him. He's got a lot of questions to answer. A lot.
How are you incapable of nailing down a backup quarterback?
No, how do you start the season with a guy who couldn't play last year as your backup quarterback to a 39-year-old quarterback? How do you do that? How do you do that and trust this with Zach Wilson? And then once he went down, how do you not go out and get Joe Flacco or somebody like that? How? I want to know. That's the first question for Joe Douglas.
And by the way, guys, remember, they stayed alive for 2.5 months.
Right.
They were floating around the playoff picture for 2.5 months, and you were not able to go get somebody?
Terrible.
And we're going to hear it, and I'm going to want to explode when I hear, well, we didn't think Rodgers would get hurt. Okay, take a look at the NFL and all the quarterbacks that get hurt.
The ones that don't get hurt, those are the outliers. So Lamar didn't get hurt. He's not starting this week, but not because of injury. He's going to win the MVP. He didn't get hurt.
They're wrapped up, baby.
Who else didn't get hurt? I guess has Stafford been hurt? I guess he was hurt, but he played through it. Mahomes hasn't been hurt.
Mahomes hasn't been hurt.
But mostly Stroud got hurt.
Dak hasn't been hurt.
Dak has not been hurt. Kirk Cousins got hurt. Everybody got hurt.
Yeah, Stafford, I guess, missed because he's made 15 starts, so
missed one.
I guess he missed the game.
By the way, and it's crazy. I mean, I know the point you're making, but like Cleveland competing, not a team you want to face.
Cincinnati competing.
Cincinnati fighting. Minnesota keeps playing. They keep fighting.
It's unreal.
That's why I think it falls more on the way this team was put together than Robert Saleh. People don't like to hear that.
And just be clear, I hate that my stupid, pathetic Commanders gave the Jets this one game where it looked like they actually did something with Simeon. You guys watched the game. That was handed to them. Every score they got there was just gift wrapped. It was not like Simeon showed anything.
And Robert today, like defending Hackett, you know, our offense has gotten better the last 4. Stop it. Your offense is not good.
And it's never gotten better.
And the reason you scored against Cleveland is because Cleveland blew you out in the first half and then played a soft defense the rest of the way.
It's really irritating. They're really trying to score. You shut them out in the second half. I'm sorry, you're down 34-17 at the half.
I know. I almost said to him, Coach, I really personally like you, and I've never wanted to talk to you less. I got nothing here. It's how do you keep doing? And I'm happy. I'm happy he's coming back next year from the sense that he seems like a good man, and he'll get a shot hopefully to do this with the quarterback he intended on having. But guys, you know what's tough here? 3 years of Robert Saleh, and you have nothing. It's kind of like how I felt about Daniel Jones, but even worse. 3 years at incomplete. That's waste. 3 years of people's... Guys, Jets fans have died. They were alive a couple seasons ago. They've passed away, and it's an incomplete. You have no idea what you have.
But it's a legitimate incomplete.
It is, but good teams don't have 3 years of incomplete. It's pathetic.
Well, I mean, it falls at the feet of Saleh and Douglas. They hand-selected Zach Wilson. They had to have him. It's on them.
Well, it's double at their feet because they selected him. Then when everyone was drunk to go get Rodgers, which we get, they didn't prepare a backup.
Right.
They didn't. They thought they could buy a classic car and skip out on the insurance.
Right.
And you know what happens to classic cars sometimes?
Yeah, you bought a Lamborghini and you have Gomer Pyle handling the
It's an 86.
maintenance. Yeah.
By the way, it's an 86 Lamborghini.
Yeah.
There's a lot of miles on this thing.
But when the answer is we didn't think he was going to get hurt, that's a bad job.
Because in the NFL, you have to plan for every eventuality. Everybody gets hurt in the NFL.
Sometimes, guys, I just still can't believe it happened. I go back to that day, and I feel for Jets fans so much.
I remember exactly where I was. Do you remember where you were?
Of course I do. I was sitting in my living room.
I was driving back from Fenway Park. David Cohn's in my car. We're going to the hotel.
Big name drop, by the way, for Coney.
And boom. I forget who was doing the game. We weren't listening to Shoes. It was National Bro. That he went down, and we looked at each other. This can't be. It's got to be fake. And then I ran up to the room and saw it, and I couldn't believe it.
Well, I remember, because, Don, I saw the sort of nick on his leg live the first time. And I saw him get up a little bit strangely. And I was like, did that just...
I thought at worst it was an ankle. I think everybody did it at the beginning.
And by the way, I mean, the guy really has a lot of gall. I admire it. Well, just think about how bad the congratulations you played yourself was. We went through this entire thing, this entire preseason. Everything's about him. The whole world is about Aaron Rodgers. And then he comes out in the first game on Monday Night Football. Guys, that was a decision that was made. There was a decision made. I'm going to run out on the field with an American flag on 9/11. It's going to be me. I'm going to be Sergeant friggin' Slaughter, okay? And I'm going to plant that flag directly into my own leg and collapse on the field. And he hasn't shut up since. He's been running his mouth all year. It's almost impressive. You'd think some people would go, I got to quiet down.
No, he's remained more relevant than if he played. I think this is going to be a very strange take.
Okay.
It might have worked out best for him. Because this line could not protect. He can't move. He's not. He would have gotten hurt in another way.
I've said the best thing you can say about this season, it was a dress rehearsal for 2024. Now they can see what went wrong, try to correct it for Rodgers. So in that way, if you want to look at the glass half full, that's the way you make it work. We're gonna have to shore up this offensive line. We thought we had enough offensive talent. We don't. We've got to be able to get this together for him. Otherwise, Michael, it's going to be the same thing. That's why you can't bring Zach back to be the backup. They got to get a legitimate backup quarterback in case he gets hurt, shore up this offensive line, and get some weapons.
And by the way, it wasn't a great year for Garrett Wilson as well.
What is going on with your earpiece?
The earpiece is...
Would you like me to fix it again?
Well, I know how to fix it now.
Okay.
I realized that the first time, but it just keeps falling
Why do you have to be above headphones? I mean, I know we have a television element here, but do we forget that it's a radio show, people?
Right? No.
Don't try to be above things. I know Mr. Yo-Yo does it the way he does it.
You know why I do it? Because I don't want to go deaf in both ears.
Now, after I got used to it, I started to like it.
Yeah.
And now it's...
Are you trying to be something you're not?
I know what I am.
I know what you are.
But Don still has hope for me. That's what he's saying.
I'm a lost cause.
Exactly.
You know, my birthday's coming up, so start shopping.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Zon's birthday's coming up, too.
February 13th. I know the date.
Guys, the Chiefs are going to rest Patrick Mahomes for the final regular season game.
So what do you want me to say about that?
I don't know.
Who is playing on Sunday?
Alex Smith.
You mean around the league?
I mean, everybody's sitting. Lamar Jackson is sitting. They just announced Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback for the 49ers.
Dak's going to play.
Well, because they need the game.
That's right.
Flacco's not playing.
Wow, Flacco's back. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah.
Wait, so who are they playing?
I don't know, but whoever
They're going back to the kids with the many names?
I think it's somebody different. It's going to be a fifth quarterback for Cleveland. Seriously.
Wait, because they're saving
Jeff Driscoll, the great Jeff.
Somebody by the name of Brian Sipe.
Wait, so they're saving? They're saving Flacco?
Yeah, saving Private Flacco.
Wow, can you believe that? That's where the point we're at.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
What do they have the division done.
5 seed.
I'm sorry, they have the wild card. Baltimore has the division wrapped, of course, and Cleveland has the.
How about the Miami Buffalo game? Buffalo could either win the division or there's a possibility that they're out of the playoffs if they lose.
It's fast. By the way, Miami's a fascinating team, aren't they?
Yeah, they kind of wet the bed last week.
You know what's frustrating to me about that 1 point play I got wrong? I had like 4 games I liked there. I went with Miami, and they gave up 1,000 points.
Sad.
You really can't tell who this team is, though. They can play with the best in the league in Miami, and then it seems like they go on the road and they're trash.
I was listening to Bart Scott, you can hear on Bart and Hahn before our show, from noon to 3.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
He still believes that that's a bad matchup for Baltimore, is Miami. I was like, wait a minute, they lost 56-19. He's like, but if you look at it, the Dolphins played awful. They turned the ball over. He still believes, from an offensive perspective, that the Dolphins' offense is still a bad matchup for that Ravens defense.
So they match up again in the playoffs. And the game's going to be in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think the line would be after that blowout?
6.5.
Yeah, because remember, if you go back to what was that, the second Michael championship appearance for the Jets, that they got crushed on Monday Night Football by the Patriots, and then they beat him in the playoffs. I understand. I don't agree with Bart, but I guess where he's coming from, it's just a regular season game that got away from the Dolphins if they met again. But I agree with Michael, probably about 6.
This, by the way, this is a really big week for the picks. Because
you've sealed the regular season championship,
but which is worth nothing. It's like the Lakers in season tournament. Yeah. But
they had a banner.
I know, and I don't get a banner even. But
I'll give you a banner.
Thank you.
I'll raise it tomorrow.
But think about it like this: if I can have a great week here and hold on to my nice lead,
10 points,
it gets tough in the playoffs because we end up starting to pick the same people, right? It starts to get all
the real fight is me and Don.
Starting next week is when we submit our picks ahead of time.
So we're separated by a half point.
So you can't play 4 corners, Peter.
And do we even do we end up making a decision on what the punishment's going to be?
No, that's why.
Yeah, the Pusick.
Oh, it's growing the Pusick.
It's such a bad thing we do.
Guys, that'll do it for ENN. And I want to send love to my mom out there.
How's she doing?
She had successful surgery on her knee. She's back at home resting. Love you, Mom. Feel better. And that'll do it for ENN on this Wednesday.
Was it knee replacement or a knee surgery?
I think it's a replacement.
Good for her. She deserves a new knee.
The knowledge of it is really.
Yeah, you know what? It's a bad. I don't know. It's a bad choice.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up just a little bit later at 7:30, our coverage of the Nets and Rockets gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts. so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
I won the lottery with Jack Pocket.
Press the button to order your lottery tickets. It's that easy.
You know, that really happened. I was in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, I got to put my numbers in. And I grabbed my phone and
my phone started exploding with texts and emails from Jack Pocket telling me I won big. I still can't believe I'm a lottery winner.
How did I celebrate? I kind of did a little happy dance out to the living room.
Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the Only Pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
Why do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
With more slots from Atlantic City, brand new loyalty redeemed straight from your phone or in person, and new ways to withdraw. Faster, simpler, easier. Now our bets hit different because your app is different. Sign up now to get your first deposit matched and up to 1,000 free spins.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tonal gives you all those stats to be able to say, okay, let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind to be as great as we can. Tonal. Be your strongest.